In an appearance on the Dan Patrick Show, NFL Network reporter Jane Slater said that Dak Prescott and his representatives are looking for Prescott's new long-term contract, listen to this, to come in right behind Patrick Mahomes. You all know what Patrick Mahomes was paid, right? She said that Prescott and his representatives are looking for a respectable offer. A respectable gentleman joining us now. That will be you, Marcus Spears. So put a smile on your face. Don't know if you got a delay.
What's up, James Harden?
Good to see you.
What's up, James Harden? How you doing, bro?
Why say James? Oh, because the beard?
How you doing, man?
You are unreal. That's actually pretty funny, Stephen A.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna save it. I'm saving it, Molly. But trust me, before I
need all these laughs. I need all of them. So keep them coming. I'm just happy that my return's actually working now, so I can see Stephen A. smiling like the Cheshire Cat right now. He's having the best time from the joke.
Molly, I just didn't know. I just didn't know Harden was a pastor. I didn't know.
You mean Stephon or Kale? Molly,
when's the Netflix special?
We're going to refer to Stephen A. as Stephon.
I'm with you. I like it.
From now on.
Listen. Stephen A's got a lot of personalities. That's all I got to say. So I'm with Stephon. All right, guys. Big fan of Dak Prescott. I think he should get paid, all seriousness. Right behind Mahomes, according to what Jane Slater here said from NFL Network. Max, what do you think? Is Dak overplaying his hand?
I do think so at this point. And I got to say, he's got Jerry over a barrel. Like, given the cap hit that's going to occur even this year with a franchise tag, let alone next year with a franchise tag, how can they really franchise him a third year, 53 or 54 million? Given all of that, he could get $40 million a year. But Mahomes signed a 10-year, the total value of the contract. Obviously, not all of that is guaranteed. The total value is like 10 years, $500 million. So even if what Dak means is he wants to have the second biggest contract, it's not going to be right behind Mahomes. It should be way behind Mahomes. Because if you pay Dak as though he's Mahomes, more or less, you're going to hamstring your franchise. Dak is I would say, a very good quarterback. I would not call him a great quarterback. I would say he could evolve into a great quarterback. He could be trending in that direction, right? We just missed a year. So, who knows what would have happened this year. But there's a good chance that he could actually achieve greatness one day. Mahomes was great, as probably the best I've ever seen. Since the moment he started. If you look at Deshaun Watson's contract, 4 years, what is it, 158, almost 160 million. If Dallas wants to give Dak a 5-year deal so they have room to restructure whatever else they need to do and mess with their cap, okay, Dak is going to be around the $40 million mark at this point because he's got so much leverage with the Cowboys. But if he's looking for more than that, and I don't think the Cowboys can give it to him and still think they're going to be competitive. This is not the same thing as Kansas City where, we have a Super Bowl dynasty maybe. We need to keep this dude. And by the way, they got him under market, really. This is a team that has a lot of holes to fill. And if they're going to spend over $40 million a year on a quarterback who's not great, they're not going to be able to fill those holes.
We can talk about Dak overplaying his hand all we want to, and I'm not going to even refute that because I think when you talk about getting paid Patrick Mahomes money and you only got one playoff win on your resume and 2 playoff appearances, I don't think anybody could argue with that. What I could say in response to that, Max, is I don't give a damn. It's such a thing as bringing it on yourself. And that's what Jerry Jones has done. Because something that's interesting when you look at the long laundry list of contracts Jerry Jones has signed people to. Ezekiel Elliott, you paid him market value. The offensive linemen, the Zach Martins of the world and others, you paid them market value. Amari Cooper, you paid him market value. Jalen Smith, you paid him market value. And so if you're Dak Prescott, you're saying, wait a minute, you've been playing hardball with me since the moment I arrived in this league. Tony Romo had back issues. He clearly was looking to walk out the door sooner than later. I show up from Mississippi State. I'm flat out balling as a preseason quarterback. I'm here. I'm young. I'm vibrant. I'm ready to perform. I'm showing that I can do the job for you. And then I go into the regular season and I perform. You still didn't want to give me props. You were still ready to hand that job back to Tony Romo at a moment's notice. Even after he retired, I'm here for 4 years. I don't miss a game. I make back page news when I miss a practice. That's how reliable and dependable I was. And still, you were resistant to taking care of me. The Colin Kaepernick situation comes about, and it's a maelstrom of controversy. Why? Because Colin Kaepernick has taken a knee. Jerry Jones decides to put his face on Front Street and let everybody know you will take a knee if you are a member of the Dallas Cowboys. You will do this and you will do that. I basically don't give a damn about social justice issues. This is where I stand, and anybody wearing this uniform, that's where we gonna stand. He has a business meeting where he announces it to the team. This is not a football meeting. This is a business meeting. And when you do this, it compromises my bottom line. And if you compromise my bottom line, I'm going to compromise your bottom line. And who was the person that never said a word, that supported his stance, that supported the organization? Despite the controversy and the plethora of people aiming their shrapnel of criticism in the direction of the Dallas Cowboys, your quarterback stood front and center and represented you in an incredibly reputable and impressive fashion. Did you still take care of him? No. Meanwhile, back in Minnesota or Washington before that, we got a guy like Kirk Cousins franchising himself day after day after day, guaranteeing himself years and years of money. I mean, 1 year after another, all of a sudden, this dude is guaranteed, will have received $192 million in guaranteed dollars by the time 2022 arrives. So you're Dak Prescott. You're looking internally, you're looking externally. You're seeing everybody maximize their market value, and then Jerry Jones wants to come to you and say, not when it comes to you. Not when it comes to quarterback, linebackers, offensive linemen, running backs, wide receivers. We'll take care of everybody else. We'll watch other teams take care of their quarterback, but we won't do it for you. Why? Nobody has asked Jerry Jones this one question. Why Dak Prescott? Because I've said it 1,000 times, and I'll say it 1,001. If this were Tony Romo, does anybody doubt that a deal would have been done already? Anybody? You can't find anybody that would sit up there and say, nah, it would be the same for Tony Romo. It would not. And as much as I love Tony Romo, who's an exceptional analyst and what have you, and damn good quarterback, by the way, when he was a member of the Dallas Cowboys, he has 2 playoff victories on his entire resume. That's it. That's it. But he would have been taken, but he would have been, well, there's one more, but Dak Prescott only been there for 4 years. That brother was there for 9 or 10. The bottom line is, if you would have done it for Tony Romo, why not Dak Prescott? And that's what I love about these demands that Dak Prescott is making. Because what it's doing is, it's going to get Jerry Jones out of hiding. And somewhere along the way, he's going to get in front of those cameras. And somebody is going to ask this man the question, why Dak? Why him? And that is the question that we need Jerry Jones in front of the camera answering. Why Dak Prescott? And that's why I love the fact that Dak Prescott is doing this, because he's forcing Jerry's hand, and Jerry's going to have to speak and justify why he's doing this with Dak Prescott all these years, not just now.
So the question is Dak overplaying his hand? And Max, you think so? Stephen A., obviously you don't think so, but I don't think this is a topic that we need to argue about, fellas. The bottom line is, and Max, you're wrong. He's not overplaying his hand, because if I was your friend and you were going to a poker tournament and I saw you had pocket aces before they pulled out the draw, I'm saying, Max, stand firm, hold tight. We have as good of a chance to win this particular hand or this particular game as much as anybody else on this table, including the house. That is where Dak Prescott sits right now. Regardless of if Dallas says, okay, forget it, we're not giving you a contract. It'll be 20-something odd teams that will. It'll be teams in desperation to get Dak Prescott in case the Dallas Cowboys are ready to let him walk or play this franchise tag for 1 year for $37 million, which is not that far away from 40. And no, I'm not saying Dak Prescott is worth 40. Dak Prescott is worth whatever somebody's going to pay him the highest amount of dollars to play the quarterback position. That may not be the Dallas Cowboys. And everyone has to be okay with that, because it seems like Dak Prescott and his agent Todd France and his brother Tad Prescott are perfectly fine with playing under this franchise tag and then moving on to